Welcome to another episode of Deep Dive into Real Estate by Team Laddi Dhillon. This is the place where we simplify real estate for you, one topic at a time. Enjoy.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Deep Dive.
That's right.
Today, we're taking a look at the Canadian housing market,
Always a hot topic.
especially if you're thinking about buying or selling.
Or investing.
And, we're a real estate team
We love to give you guys information.
to help you make an informed decision.
Exactly.
So this is going to be kind of your cheat sheet to figure out what's going on in the Canadian housing market.
Absolutely.
Now, we are basing today's Deep Dive
Okay.
on a recent YouTube video that had some pretty huge predictions.
Oh.
So get this, the question is,
Okay.
will the market explode in the last quarter of 2024?
Wow.
What do you think?
I don't know. The experts don't even seem to agree.
They don't.
No, so you've got like TD Bank, for example.
Oh, wait.
They're forecasting a sizable bump by the end of 2024,
Okay.
and they think that this is going to be driven by interest rate cuts.
Makes sense. Lower rates, more people can afford to borrow.
Exactly. More demand could push those prices up.
Okay, so TD Bank says things are looking good.
Yeah. But then you've got CREA.
The Canadian Real Estate Association.
No, they're kind of throwing a wrench in the whole thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they actually downgraded their forecast.
What?
Yeah, and they're predicting a holding pattern until spring 2025.
That's so different from what TD Bank is saying.
I know, it's a real head scratcher.
So how do we make sense of these two totally different predictions?
Well, the expert in this video that we're looking at,
Okay.
he had a really interesting take on it.
What's that?
He was saying that even when interest rates fall,
Okay.
buyers don't always jump back in right away.
Really?
Yeah, it's like they're waiting for that perfect moment.
So they want low rates, but they also want low prices.
Exactly, like they're trying to time the market perfectly.
Well, so it's almost like a psychological thing.
It is. People are hesitant,
Maybe they're a little bit spooked after all the ups and downs we've seen.
Right, and economists actually have a term for this.
They do.
It's called elasticity.
Elasticity.
Yeah, think of it like a rubber band.
Okay, I'm listening.
So when rates go up, it's like that rubber band is stretched really tight. Buyers pull back immediately.
But when rates fall.
It's like slowly releasing the tension on that rubber band.
Okay,
People are more cautious.
that makes sense.
They might not believe that those lower rates are going to stick around.
Right, they've been burned before.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got these conflicting forecasts, we've got psychology at play,
Uh-huh.
but what about the government?
Oh, yeah, what about them?
They've got to have a role in all of this, right?
Of course they do.
And this video mentioned some recent changes that the government made,
To try and help things out.
but they might actually make affordability worse in the long run.
Yeah, that's what the expert argued.
So explain that a little bit.
So they're talking about things like longer amortization periods
Okay.
and higher mortgage insurance limits,
Okay.
which at first glance seem like they would help.
Right.
But let's break it down.
Okay.
So let's say you can stretch your mortgage payments over 30 years instead of 25. Yeah, your monthly payment's going to be lower,
Right.
but you're paying interest for 5 extra years. And that really adds up over time.
So it's like a hidden cost.
It is.
Yeah.
You might be able to afford that bigger loan now,
Right.
but ultimately you're paying way more for your house.
Okay, so that's the longer amortization periods.
Right.
What about the mortgage insurance limits?
Okay, so with higher limits, buyers can put down less money up front,
Okay.
but that means they start off with a bigger debt.
Right.
So again, it seems helpful in the short term.
Because more people can get into the market.
Exactly. But long term, it could actually lead to bigger affordability issues.
So the government's in a tough spot.
They are.
They're trying to make homes more accessible,
Right.
but these policies could actually end up driving prices up even more.
It's a tough balance to strike.
And it just goes to show, why it's so important to really understand these policies
Absolutely.
and how they could impact you as a buyer or a seller.
You need to be informed.
And that's why we're doing this deep dive,
Exactly.
to empower you with the knowledge you need,
To make those smart decisions.
whether you're buying, selling, or investing.
We're here for you.
Now let's shift gears a little bit
Okay.
and talk about this idea of demand pull forward.
Demand pull forward.
Yeah, the expert in the video highlighted this.
Interesting.
He suggested that because of the pandemic frenzy,
Oh, yeah.
with those record low rates and that crazy competition,
It was wild.
a lot of buyers jumped into the market sooner than they planned.
Oh, I see.
So think about your own plans.
Okay.
If you were thinking about buying in the next few years,
Yeah.
did that pandemic craziness push you to buy earlier?
I wonder how many people that happened to.
Right, because if a big chunk of potential buyers are already out there.
Then there might not be as many waiting in the wings.
And that could really impact demand in the coming years.
It could make that market explosion less likely.
Okay, so we've got conflicting forecasts. We've got psychology at play.
Right.
We've got the government trying to figure things out.
Yeah. And potentially messing things up.
And we've got this demand pull forward effect.
Wow. It's a lot to consider.
It is. So what's the strategy then for navigating this crazy market?
Well, the expert in the video had a pretty interesting suggestion.
Yeah.
He said that buyers who are looking for lower prices today that are hoping to take advantage of lower interest rates in the future, they should consider adjustable rate mortgages. Yeah, but from non-bank lenders.
Hold on. Adjustable rate mortgages.
Yep.
Those are the ones where the interest rate can change over time.
That's right.
That sounds risky.
It can be.
So what's the upside?
Well, they usually start with a lower interest rate than a fixed rate mortgage.
Okay.
So those initial payments are easier to manage.
Especially if you're buying in a more expensive area.
Exactly.
What about these non-bank lenders?
So these are places like credit unions or private mortgage companies.
Okay.
And they can be a good option for borrowers who have unique situations. They often have more flexibility in their qualifying criteria.
Okay.
But it's important to remember that they're not subject to the same regulations as traditional banks.
So you do your research.
Absolutely. Make sure you choose a reputable lender.
Someone with a good track record and competitive rates.
Exactly. And this is where a knowledgeable real estate team can be really helpful.
That's us.
We can connect you with trusted mortgage professionals
Who can explain all the ins and outs of those different options.
and help you find the best fit for your situation.
Okay, so we've talked about ARMs and non-bank lenders.
Yep.
Anything else we should know about navigating this crazy market?
Well, the video also talked about how the Canadian housing market is very regional.
Oh, right.
What's happening in one city might be totally different in another.
Even within the same province.
Absolutely.
So what did the expert have to say about that?
He suggested that Ontario and BC,
Okay, two of the biggest markets.
yeah, they might lag behind in terms of growth.
Interesting.
But provinces like Alberta, which is seeing a lot of people moving there from other provinces,
Right.
they could see more price growth.
So it all comes down to your local market.
It does.
So pay attention to what's happening in your own neighborhood.
Exactly. Things like the job market, new developments, population growth.
It's like putting together a puzzle.
Each piece contributes to the big picture.
And that's really the key takeaway here.
What's that?
The Canadian housing market is complex, and it's always changing.
You got that right.
But we've given you some important things to think about.
And hopefully we've helped you make sense of things a little bit,
But remember, knowledge is power.
especially when it comes to real estate.
So do your research, talk to local experts.
Like us.
And most importantly, think about your own financial goals.
What are you hoping to achieve?
Because there's no one-size-fits-all approach to real estate.
Every situation is different.
And that's why we're here to help.
We want to guide you through every step of the process.
So you can make informed decisions and achieve your real estate dreams.
That's what it's all about. It's crazy how different things can be even within the same province, you know?
Oh yeah, like what's happening in the city center might be totally different from what's happening in the suburbs.
Exactly. Like, think about Vancouver.
Okay.
Downtown could be on fire, but things might be a lot slower just a few miles away.
It's like those microclimates, but for real estate.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to have someone on your side who really knows the local market.
That's where we come in.
Right. We live and breathe these markets.
So we can give you those insights into specific neighborhoods, inventory levels, even pricing strategies.
All those little details that can make a big difference.
Because you're not just buying a house, you're buying to a whole community.
Exactly. You got to know what you're getting into.
Now let's circle back to something we talked about earlier.
Okay.
That whole idea of trying to time the market.
Oh, yeah.
The expert in this video seemed pretty skeptical about that.
He didn't think it was possible to get those low prices and low interest rates at the same time.
And to be honest, I kind of agree with him.
Me too. It's like trying to catch lightning in a bottle.
There are just too many moving parts.
Exactly. You can't predict exactly when prices will hit bottom or when interest rates will be at their lowest.
And while you're waiting for that perfect moment, you might miss out on some great opportunities.
It's true. Sometimes the best strategy is just to focus on your own goals and your timeline.
And make moves that align with your overall vision.
Exactly. Real estate is a long game.
Not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Definitely not.
Speaking of strategies, I'm still thinking about those adjustable rate mortgages.
Oh, the ARMs from those non-bank lenders.
Yeah, it sounds appealing for some buyers.
Especially those who are comfortable with a little bit of risk.
Right. But there's definitely a downside, too.
There is. You need to be prepared for those interest rates to go up.
And you need to understand how these mortgages actually work.
Exactly. It's not a decision to make lightly.
You gotta weigh the pros and cons.
And that's where a good mortgage professional can really make a difference.
They can break it all down for you.
Explain all the different options and help you find the best fit.
And even though we're not mortgage brokers,
right,
we have a great network of trusted lenders.
Absolutely.
People who really know their stuff.
And who can make that whole mortgage process a lot less scary.
So don't hesitate to reach out to us if you need help with that.
We're happy to connect you.
Okay, so far we've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
We started with those conflicting market forecasts.
Some people saying the market's going to boom, others saying it's going to stay flat.
And we talked about why those predictions are so different.
The impact of interest rates, buyer psychology, government policies.
And of course, those all-important regional variations.
What's happening in your city might be totally different from what's happening in mine.
We also talked about the dangers of trying to time the market.
You're probably better off just focusing on your own goals.
And we even touched on those alternative financing options.
Like the ARMs from those non-bank lenders.
Which can be a good fit for some buyers.
But definitely not for everyone.
So it's a lot to take in. But the main takeaway is that there's no right or wrong answer.
It all depends on your individual circumstances.
So do your homework, talk to the experts.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
We're always here to help.
We're passionate about helping people navigate this crazy real estate world.
And we want you to feel confident and empowered.
To make decisions that are right for you.
Okay, now before we wrap things up, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay, I'm listening.
We talked about that demand pull-forward effect.
Where a lot of buyers have already jumped into the market.
Yeah, but what about the other side of that coin?
What do you mean?
What about a potential supply push forward?
Supply push forward?
Yeah. Could these current market conditions actually encourage more sellers to list their properties?
Interesting.
We've got lower prices, less competition.
So maybe some sellers who were on the fence before might be more tempted now.
Exactly. And if that happens, we could see an increase in inventory.
Which could shift the balance of power in the market.
Potentially giving buyers more options and more negotiating power.
That's a really interesting point.
It just goes to show that the market is always in flux.
Always changing, always evolving.
And that's why it's so important to stay informed.
And to have a good team in your corner.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Canadian housing market.
We hope you found it helpful.
And that you're feeling a little bit more confident about navigating this crazy world.
Remember, knowledge is power.
And with the right information and the right support,
you can achieve anything.
Yeah, that supply push forward is something to keep an eye on for sure.
It could be a game changer for buyers.
Especially if you're ready to make a move now.
You could really benefit from those lower prices and less competition.
And that's where having a great real estate team on your side is so important.
Absolutely. We're constantly analyzing the market, looking for those opportunities.
And making sure our clients are the first to know.
We're like your personal real estate navigators.
Guiding you through all the twists and turns.
Helping you avoid those pitfalls.
And ultimately making sure you reach your destination.
Whether you're buying, selling, or investing.
We're here to support you every step of the way.
We want you to feel confident and empowered throughout the entire process.
Because buying or selling a home is a huge decision.
It's probably one of the biggest financial transactions you'll ever make.
So you need someone you can trust.
Someone who has your best interests at heart.
Someone who's going to be there for you every step of the way.
And that's what we're all about.
We're not just here to close deals.
We're here to build relationships.
To educate our clients.
And to help them achieve their dreams.
So if you're feeling lost or overwhelmed by the real estate market,
or if you're just not sure where to start,
reach out to us.
We're here to help.
We offer a wide range of services to meet your needs.
From buying and selling to investing and property management.
We're your one-stop shop for all things real estate.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more valuable insights.
We're always releasing new content.
Deep dives, market updates, expert interviews.
We want to make sure you have all the information you need
to navigate this exciting but sometimes overwhelming world of real estate.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
We hope you learned a lot.
And that you're feeling a little bit more prepared to tackle the Canadian housing market.
Remember, knowledge is power.
And with the right team in your corner,
you can achieve your real estate goals and build a brighter future for yourself and your family.
That's right. Until next time, happy house hunting.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We will be back with something new and something interesting.